yes. Thank God it's Friday. You can actually say Friday, right? But thank God it's Friday. Yes. I'm super duper, anything at all you can think of, excited this beautiful Friday morning. Well, it looks like it's going to be a cold Friday morning because it actually drizzled earlier. And I mean, for a moment, I was like, come on. The year's coming to an end already. Why is it still raining, by the way? Well, does that actually speak to climate change? I don't know because I'm not a weather forecaster. But it feels good to be in the studio this Friday morning. It is, of course, the 25th day in the month of October 2024. And, of course, it's salary week. That's the part I love the most, honestly. But of course, while being excited, for the salary week, it's also important for you to be prudent. Yes. I'd like to ask us this question. Every January 1 of every year, we get to make resolutions. Some would target New Year resolution. Some would say New Year, new me. I'm just wondering, all of the resolutions you actually set or made January 1, 2024, what's up? How fun, huh? No pun intended. But life has a way of lifing. More like when you say this year, your financial target is to maybe hit 6 digits in your account. This aside what you have already in your bank account, and somehow the economic hardship and the reality on ground there is now making you feel like maybe the resolution was not realistic or the target was not realistic. But come on, there's still time. Do you believe in the God of is it the 11th hour, the 12th hour now? There is nothing impossible with God, so keep believing. And someone will say, keep on preaching, preacher. I am more of a piece of Semere, and of course I'll be riding solo this beautiful Friday morning. I trust that you have slept and woke up well today, and most importantly, I hope that you are ready to start your day with us. Of course, the Eagles morning rise is always a booster to start your day with, because we've got a lot packed for your listening pleasure. We'll get to take you through the front pages of the Nigerian newspapers for the day. Indeed, a lot is going on. We're still chewing on what happened in the last 48 hours, and we might not really get or have enough of that on the pages, of course, which will last from now till 8 a.m. We take a look at the blazing headlines across the national dailies. You get to call in as well to react, as always, to these headlines, because hey, you are Nigerian, right? So whatever concerns Nigeria concerns you as a citizen. As a matter of fact, lending your voice to these issues actually, it also makes you, patriotic, if you ask me. Well, of course, at 8 o'clock, just because we love to carry everyone along, yes, Vicky Vic, the sports minister, he will be right here to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. And of course, at 9 a.m. to wrap up the Eagles Morning Rise breakfast show would be Eagles Outlook. And what we have on our sleeves to discuss today is something very, very interesting, quite controversial, but of course, we must have this, conversation. Talking about, the scrapping or renaming, of course, the Niger Delta Ministry. Of course, this has been sparking a lot of reactions with concerns coming from different quarters. Some are actually happy with this development, reasons being that there seems to be some sort of corruption going on within that space, and others are saying that, come on, doing this would mean that you want to use the resources of the South Zone to fund other zonal development commissions. But what are your thoughts? Anyway, save your thought for 9 a.m. this morning. I will be having this conversation with convener of the Niger Delta Development Agenda at 9 a.m. this morning. So it actually promises to be an insightful conversation. I urge you to stay on this dial, because you've got absolutely no reason to touch it. And all of this, as a matter of fact, to be accompanied with the very best of music, because it's Friday and come on, it's weekend, baby. So let's have the absolute best of the weekend. So as always, we'll get to bring you up to speed on 10 things you need to know for the day. I'll start off real quick with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who took a tough stance yesterday on the enforcement of some cost-saving measures. Now, in a personal memo, he directed that no member of the Federal Executive Council, FEC, should have more than 3 vehicles in their convoy. None of them is also expected to have more than 5 security personnel. Come on. Well, the president's about to give a number of people a run for their money, especially after he returned from this, recent trip he embarked on. Because what exactly is going on, man? The policies, the decisions, well, some will say they are harsh, but and this policy is not a result of, the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians that, look, you need to try your best. Whatever it is you can, do it to reduce the cost of governance, because, come on, a lot is going on at the moment. The number 2 thing you need to know for today would also be that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last night directed the military and other relevant agencies to intensify the rescue operation at the helicopter crash site in Rivers State. Very scary. I mean, when I heard that story, I'm like, ooh. Now, the chartered helicopter marked 5NBQG and operated by East Wind Aviation Logistics Services Limited was conveying senior officials of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited when it crashed into the Atlantic Ocean on Thursday morning. Number 3, Defense Minister Muhammad Badaru has ordered troops of Operation Hajarin Daji in the northwest to arrest notorious bandit leader Bello Turji. Now, the minister gave the order while addressing the troops at the 1 Brigade headquarters in Gusau, Zamfara state capital. Damage to the plane of Vice President Kashim Shettima during a stopover at JFK Airport in New York, United States, has forced the cancellation of a scheduled trip to the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa, Oceania. Now, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, confirmed the cancellation in a statement issued in Abuja last night. Right, and then the 5th thing you need to know for today also will be that the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, I beg your pardon, has said the blackout affecting part of northern Nigeria will persist due to security challenges, hindering repairs on critical transmission lines. Now, despite efforts to restore electricity through alternative means, the TCN said the situation will not be fully resolved anytime soon. Well, people are already counting their losses, especially business owners, right? Moving on, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has dispelled claims suggesting that the old series of a 200, 500 and 1,000 naira banknotes will cease to be legal tender on December 31st, 2024. The CBN made a clarification following media reports that it had fixed a deadline for the withdrawal of the old notes. Now, one would say that you should come out straight. Let us know exactly what we're doing. So it won't be the case of, like we had with the Dangote, the NNPCL and oil marketers. So it's like people are just going round circles of, back and forth. Please, we are not even ready to go through this stress or hassle of getting new notes or old notes. So let us know what we're doing, because the year is already coming to an end and we know how things are at the moment. Now, Binance head of financial crime compliance, Tigran Gambarian, has departed Nigeria after 8 months of detention. The world's largest cryptocurrency exchange made the disclosure in a statement on Thursday. Moving on, the Kwara State Police Command has arrested 5 persons over the alleged involvement in the killing of a 46-year-old University of Ilorin graduate. It was gathered on Thursday that the deceased, identified as Lanre Adebayo, a political science graduate of the University of Ilorin, was tortured to death on Monday, October 21, 2024, in the dead of night. Well, a very sad one there. And at Ekiti State High Court, Ado Ekiti Division has ordered the deposition of the Oluloro of Iloro Ekiti, Obafemi Olugbeshoye, for non-compliance with the native law and the custom regarding coronation rites. Justice Jide Aladejana made the pronouncement while delivering judgment in the suit filed by Prince Olakunle Fadare and 4 others challenging Olugbeshoye and 4 others over his ascension to the throne. Well, the last thing you need to know for today would be that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has said the FCT administration's effort to develop satellite towns and rural areas of the territory are sacrosanct. Wike gave the assurance during the inauguration of the construction of a road in Abuja on Thursday. Well, that being said, let's quickly take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers and see what is trending for today. All right. We're starting off with the Nation newspaper this morning, and on the front page, the big news story right there says 6 NNPCL officials aboard chopper that crashed into ocean. Now, this comes with 3 riders. The first one says 3 bodies recovered, and then this one here says NAAPE mourns pilot. President orders military to join rescue team. You get that on the front page, and it continues on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Just above the big news story, IMF projects reduction in Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio. Global debt to exceed $100 trillion. It starts on the front page actually, and it continues on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Get me bandit boss, Turji. Defense minister orders troops. All right, details on page 6. Governors, that is the kicker, ranching best bets to end herder farmer crisis. You get that on page 5. Enugu OK's 80,000 naira wage. That's on page 25. And then Vice President Shetima's Samoa trip aborted. Details on page 4. 37 Lagos LCDAs stay. All right, why are they staying though? That's on page 26. Moving on now, this one here says a government cost saving plan. A government cost saving plan limits ministers' convoy security. Right. 2 riders underneath it. The first one says NSA to ensure compliance by security chiefs, and then the second rider says Bianca, 6 others likely for Senate screening on Wednesday. Well, you get details of that on the front page of the Nation newspaper, and it continues on page 4. This one here says Humphrey Wonsu, who conducted Abiola versus Tofa 1993 election, died at 83. Details on page 25 of the Nation newspaper. Well, real quick, I'll leave it there this morning. Oh yes, before I move on to the next newspaper, this one here talking about Ondo 2024. It says INEC to conduct mock accreditation November 6. Cleric urges residents to collect PVCs, and then Ayeda Tiwa pledges to prioritize healthcare and infrastructure. Stories on page 25 of the Nation newspaper this morning. I'll leave it there for the Nation newspaper. Now let's take a look at the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust newspaper is leading a little bit differently, right? It says cost of governance as the kicker. Tinubu limits ministers' convoys to 3 vehicles. 2 riders underneath it. The first one says lead by example. CSOs tell president and governors. The second rider says World Bank offers 4-point plan to reduce government spending. All of that on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Why Tinubu sacked Maman, Uju, others. All right, details on page 4. And then Nigeria joins BRICS as partner country. Details on page 24. No deadline on circulation of old Naira notes. This statement is credited to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and that's on page 7. So no room for panic. No need for you to panic, right? People shouldn't start hoarding, the Naira notes, all right? Here, the CBN has come out to say that there is no deadline on circulation of old Naira notes. So we're free to, keep living life, as we have been living, and also, spending the money as we've been spending it. That's if you have a handful to spend. Passengers entitled to 10,000 Naira, $170 for delayed luggage, NCAA. All right, details on page 19 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Why blackout will persist in the north? TCN talking there. And then this one here says federal government flags of construction of Sokoto Badagry Superhighway. Details on page 7. The last one here says 3 killed as helicopter crashes in rivers. Details this morning on page 7 of the Daily Trust newspaper. The Guardian newspaper is up next. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, it says calls for military intervention. Misery, harsh policies driving Nigerians to desperate choices. Now this Of course, it is the big news story on the front page, and you have a picture right there. I would say it speaks over 2 million words, not 1 million words, right? Well, that's actually on pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And then this one here says federal government begins reform of obsolete laws. Details on page 7. Nigeria records 83 poliovirus type 2 cases. You'll find that on page 7. And then helicopter crash, that is the kicker. NSIB begins probe as search continues for missing passengers. Details on page 6. Court picks November 14, 20 to hear from Yahaya Bello. All right, you get that on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. And then Tinubu orders cost-cutting measures as Senate begins screening on Tuesday. Details on page 6. U.S. grateful as ailing Binance chief departs Nigeria after 8 months in detention, right? Details on page 3. And then Lagos, Ogun urge residents of low-lying areas to relocate over water release from Oyon Dam. Details on page 9. No deadline on old Naira notes, says CBN as reps pushes for new ones, right? Details on page 3. Troops arrest IPOB founder, commander, kill 140 terrorists. Details on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. I think that's just going to be about the size of the headlines I will be taking from the Guardian newspaper this morning. So do it to grab a copy to get details. And now the Punch newspaper is up next. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, the big news story right there says cabinet reshuffle. President defends Tinubu as federal government slashes ministers, vehicles, and aids. All right. And right underneath it says federal government differs as Clark, others allege lopsidedness. Tinubu seeks Senate confirmation. Details on pages 2 and 28 of the Punch newspaper. And then this one here says a tropical storm leaves 24 dead in Philippines. Flooding. A lot is really going in across the world at the moment. Details this morning on page 29. And then military. NEMA combs sea for crashed helicopters of passengers. Details on page 29. Police hunt gunmen as 9 killed in fresh Anambra attack. Details on pages 4 and 5. And then pensioners threaten protest as federal government, 4 states owe 193 billion naira. Details on page 19. Senate okays 15% state funding for regional development commissions. Details on page 27. And then broken aircraft windscreen aborts Shetima's Samoa trip. Details on page 2. We thank God indeed for your life, Vice President. And then a Naira devaluation pushes federal government and states debt to 134 trillion naira. Details on page 19. Well, this one here says APC, PDP, others prepare for mock accreditation. You find that on page 27. And then Ayeda Tiwa prioritizes health, and NNPP queries governor's manifesto. You also find that on page 27 of the Punch newspaper this morning. So do well to get a copy or grab a copy of the Punch newspaper for details. The last newspaper to look at this morning will be the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And of course, the big news story there says investigation begins as oil workers die in helicopter crash. Now, this comes with about 2 or 3 riders underneath that headline. The first one here says 3 bodies recovered, 5 still missing. And then crash chopper was heading to our facility, NNPCL, talking there. How we activated rescue coordination activities, that's according to NAMA. And then pilot revealed as NAAPE, Vice President. All right, details this morning on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Federal government flags off construction of 1,068 kilometers Sokoto Badagry Highway. Details on page 3. Humphrey Wonsu, ex-NEC chairman, dies. Peter Obi mourns. Details on page 25. Umba approves 80,000 naira minimum wage for Enugu workers. Details on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Residents trapped, others relocate as flood ravages Ogun communities. You find that on page 10 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And then army arrests IPOP founder in Imo, commander, and of course 10 others in Abia. Details on page 5. Cost of governance, that is the key card. Tinubu limits ministers' convoy to 3. Details on page 3, of course, on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And then Nigeria, 12 others join BRICS, and details on page 12. PTD Nupeng threatens strike over seizure of loaded trucks by IGP's team. You find that on page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Neglect of livestock for foreign dowry, a mistake. Tinubu talking there. Details on page 4. And then Nigeria's public debt soars by 10.35%, reaching 134.3 trillion naira. You find that on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Senators in heated argument over funding for regional commissions. This is as Senate passes bills for 3 regional commissions, and all of that this morning on page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And of course, that's about the size of the headlines I will be taking from the Nigerian Tribune, of course, the national dailies for today. So at this juncture, you can now call in to share your thoughts with us as to what you make of these headlines. Well, one would say that the National Daily is somehow compared notes this morning with regards to the move by the President Bola Tinubu, to limit ministers' convoys to 3 vehicles. Somehow one would say that the President is indeed, listening to the concerns that Nigerians have raised over time with regards to the cost, of governance. But is this enough, or you think there is more that needs to be done? The numbers to call this morning are 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. As always, when you call in to share your thoughts, please stay civil, avoid the use of vulgar language and abusive words, of course, and just make your opinion or contribution as brief as possible, 2 minutes or less if you can. That way we get to accommodate diverse views on the pages this morning. And do not forget, most importantly, to turn down the volume of your radio set so we can hear ourselves clearly. Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Sadiq. I'm calling from Dakwa.
All right, Sadiq, please go ahead.
I think Mr. President should start with the Senate and the House of.
Sadiq, you might want to call back, right? Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Please turn down the volume of your radio set.
How are you? My name is GB.
All right, GB, good to have you this morning. And where are you calling from?
West Ham.
All right, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, the federal government directs ministers not to go with more than 3 vehicles in their convoy.
Right.
And the number of security, 4 policemen, 1 DSS. I think that is good thing. The other cost. Number 1, normally they should not even go more than 2 vehicles. The security vehicle and the home minister will be in. But in case of some exigency, there's a problem with the vehicle or something happened on the way, you can't ask the minister to now enter the pickup that the security will be. For that reason, they can have a spare vehicle to follow the vehicle. And I want them to go beyond that. That all the vehicles now should go on CNG. All these vehicles that the minister will carry, 3 of them, they are about 85 to 100 liter size of tank. That means by current fuel price, they will consume like 300,000 naira as a full tank, which is likely be 3 or 4 days or 1 week at most, highest. That means the people will spend like 300,000 every week in a month. That's in 1.2 million naira. The federal government should direct all Pasata, including the presidency, to go on CNG. They have been giving CNG keys to people free of charge, to transfer free of charge. Why can't they say every ministry, Pasata agency, judiciary, National Assembly, should go on CNG? CNG gas is about 300 naira per liter, whereas petrol is about 1,100. Look at the difference, almost like 70% difference. So if they really want to cut down costs, and I'm calling the president to give that instruction and let it start on the presidency. If some Cadillac or whichever you riding should go on CNG. By that, it will encourage the populace to buy into the CNG agenda and also cut down costs in the service. Then the issue of Naira being expired by 25. The CBN regulation should go and extend that thing indefinitely, because we can't accommodate that. Before you know it, the people are holding the new Naira notes, and that becomes a problem for us by next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, GB, for calling. And well, with regards to the circulation of the 200, 500, and 1,000 naira banknotes, the CBN has actually come out to say that the claims suggesting that the old series of these notes will cease to be legal tender on December 31. The claims are actually false and not true, and as such they have been dispelled. And also, when you talk about buying into CNG, right? Buying into it, is that really the concern or the issue at the moment, or the conversion cost? Indeed, the president actually has actually told or come out to tell Nigerians that we should choose between CNG, of course, a liter is sold at 200 naira or thereabout, or fuel, and then you buy a liter at 1,000 naira or even more. But the concern at the moment, of course, would have to do with the conversion cost. The number of motorists, that have called in on this show, they've actually complained, right? About the cost. We're not talking about 300,000 naira now. It's really, really pricey, one would say. But let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I don't know, CY. I'm calling from Gadua.
I didn't get your name, please.
CY.
All right, CY, please go ahead.
Thank you for your son. I appreciate the president working as well temporarily. Because he should show this by example himself. And think of one does he good. And again, that's one. Two. Secondly, the issue of Bele, taking one to bring the price of fuel down. So that is down. We are commoners. This does not affect our mass activities. Thank you.
All right, thank you, CY. Okay. Let's see if we can take this one. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, my sister. God bless you for the good update you are giving us. My name is Apostle Osola, aka Walking Name. So, yes, this conversion of that CNG is very costly. And another thing that a good leader, when there is people are complaining and lamenting, when a good leader came by, our president, as he came back, he had to shift ground. As the NNPC went and increase fuel price. And it as our president have come back, the expectation is that he must say something that is also amount of removed in that the price they increase. It will go a long way. That's what Nigerians expectation from our president. And another thing is this: as they have reshuffle in the cabinet, I would hope that he will relieve that being Minister of Petroleum, give it to somebody else, so that he will face his own side as a president. Because being Minister of Petroleum and president, and we see that the gap is there, that is not performing well in that aspect. Let him do the best thing for Nigeria. Thank you and God bless you. My name remains Apostle Osola, aka Walking Away in Abuja. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Walking Away. All right, the numbers to call are still 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning. Good to have you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this Moses calling from Tulane.
All right, Moses. Good to have you. Please go ahead.
The announcement by the president for cut down costs. Even with that announcement, the meltdown economic and the challenges of what we are going through demands that whether they like it or not, there must be a cut down. Because even ordinary Nigerians, every family, both your intake, there is a massive cut down. So you don't need to even come down and tell the whole Nigerians. You must cut down. Because if the economic meltdown could not help us in bringing what we are facing through. You must adjust. Everybody is doing calculation now. Mathematics has pulled our head because there are some things that you are going through, whether you like it or not, you must cut down. So we have been saying this since last year, but it has come to a point that we are silent over it. But the economic meltdown demands that you must cut down. So what our prayer and the prayer for the entire nation is that the economy, they should sit down and bring out what will help this country. Right. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much indeed for calling and also sharing your thoughts with us. I'll just put a pause to, the phone calls this morning because we've got bills to pay, right? We'll be back in a moment to take more calls. And don't forget, the earlier you send your voice notes to the WhatsApp portal, the better. We'll be back in a moment. Do join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
You are here right now.
Your miracle is here. Just believe and receive. Breaking news. The healing streams are flowing again, and your testimony is next as we anticipate the Healing Streams live healing services with Pastor Chris, holding from
Friday, October 25th to Sunday, October 27th, 2024, 2 p.m. daily.
Register now and view the program at
www.healingstream.tv/zone/ABMC.
You can also participate live at Christ Embassy Durumi near American International School or at the nearest Christ Embassy church to you. Also at any of our designated healing centers all around town. Also airing live here in Abuja on Eagles 102.3 FMs. Call or text
070-7125-2233. 070-7125-2233. Friday, October 25th to Sunday, October 27th, 2024. You can also watch it live on Eagles FM Abuja YouTube and Facebook page, 2 p.m. daily.
Your set time for a miracle. Don't miss it.
Welcome to Feminism Friday, where every Friday is a celebration of gender equality and empowerment. Tune in to Eagles FM 102.3 from 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Friday for inspiring talks on gender roles, women's rights, and inclusivity. Join us for inspiring conversations, insightful discussions, and the best part is that you get to contribute and be part of the program. The show will spotlight the champions of feminism and offering actionable steps for a just and equitable Nigeria. Feminism Lab, where your voice makes a difference. Take action with us now. The program is a production of Feminism Lab, sponsored by Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, Nigeria.
Looking for a professional event planner in Abuja and its environs, but don't know how to go about it? Eagles FM got you covered. Call us today and let's help you fix that event that will leave you with evergreen memories. Call 081-5791-7278. I take it again, 081-5791-7278. Thank you.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable.
Eagles 102.3.
And yes, we're back. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is The Pages live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Of course, your radio experience you can count on. And just to give you a heads up that you can visit our website at www.eaglesfm.com, and you can download our app on iOS and Play Store. Link with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X, and TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja. That being said, you can be part of the conversation this morning by calling the studio lines on 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for calling. What's your name and where you're calling from?
What's your name? Jide from Suleja.
Oh, Jide, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm talking of issue of cutting of cost of governance.
Right.
Yeah, the parents are tried enough, but you have to start from the head, so that the issue of expenses will lower, and then cut the price of petrol also, so that things will come normal. You know, this issue of petrol has caused a lot of things. That caused hardship. So please, I'm begging Mr. President to cut down petroleum price, so that we the farmers will live a better life. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jide. Thank you indeed. Let's see if we can take this one. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
It's Comrade Anthony from Suleja.
All right, Comrade, please go ahead.
Yes. I called yesterday and I was saying something about the headline that the president was giving Nigeria a choice. That is either we choose 1,000 naira per liter of fuel or we choose CNG as 200 naira.
Right.
You see, you begin to wonder what is now happening with our leader in this great country.
All right, Comrade, you might want to call back to wrap up your thoughts, okay? Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Good morning, good to have you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
You're welcome. My name is King Kennedy. I'm calling at Old Airport, Jos Plateau State today.
All right, King Kennedy. I mean, I saw your message on a Facebook page. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
In fact, we're enjoying the program here. And you look good, man. Your dressing is good. I love that.
Thank
now,
you
let
so
me
much.
let me just go straight to the point. When I heard that President Tinubu has reduced number of convoy that will be following ministers, it actually gave me joy. Because just come to look at it, I've traveled to a lot of states in Nigeria. Go to some states, in a community, you see that in a whole police station, there will not be up to 4 policemen, just one gun. How will such people be able to defend the community? Now, reducing the numbers of, this convoy, it means that, yes, our left police station, mostly in rural area, will be fortified with enough security men, and this will improve our security system in Nigeria. So I just want to hear Mr. President, in as much I don't fully believe in some of his policies, in this particular very one, I just want to applaud him, and I pray he keep it up, keep doing the good job, and together we believe that one day Nigeria will be a better country. Thank you very much. God bless every positive thinking in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, King Kennedy, for calling and of course sharing your thought with us. All right, let's see if we can take this one. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Jerry, calling from Masaka.
All right, Jerry, please go ahead.
My own is a question. You say Nigeria and the 12 others, or I may not hear it well, joining BRICS. So my question, can you be a member of BRICS and be a member of United Nations? Secondly, please, when U.S. president election, they will conduct the U.S. president election. Please, I want somebody to answer me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that question. Well, joining BRICS is actually a new development, right? And this is just because BRICS has officially expanded its alliance. However, the 13 new nations, that have just, joined as partner countries, they are not, full members, okay? And this is actually on the heels of, strengthening multilateralism for fair global development and security. And the focus is actually to enhance economic integration with key emerging nations. Okay, thank you so much for, calling in to share your thoughts this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Princess.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
It's Obasanjo calling you from Omali, Niger State.
All right, Obasanjo, good to have you. Please go ahead.
Mr. President, go to the National Assembly. Go and see how police, security personnel are hogging over there. Become beggars in the National Assembly there. Go a lot of plenty police and other security. If you go there, you will see by yourself. View it with the camera and send to Nigeria and see what is happening over there. There's no security in the communities again. All security, nobody. They will post police in a community. You will say no. You want to leave community. Why? Because there's nothing in the community. All what they left us in the community, it's insecurity. Why? Because nobody, like the other brother talk. I am telling you, you will not see a large community. You will not see police station. A large community in my communities. There's no police station. All police has been following
and
politicians.
Where is that? Obasanjo?
Let me Amale from Paikoro local government comes to. I don't want to write because of issue of insecurity, but if you can say it privately, you can pick my number. I will tell you the large numbers of communities. There's no police station. President, I want to urge you. It's not all about the ministers. In your domo, it's our taxpayer money that your food in the morning, your clothes in the morning, your children clothes, everybody that is in that villa. Cut it off. It's not all about cut that one. Bring the oil subsidy down. But we've
gone past subsidy era. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Okay, we have gone past of the subsidy era. But then we don't die in this country completely. If we cannot reverse that.
Okay.
You cannot see the statistics. There will be hunger in 2025. Is that not? The statistics has been shown. Why? Because of what? The insecurity and the increment of the subsidy.
Pump price of fuel, you mean?
Pump price. Yes, pump price. So the increment making life so difficult.
All right.
Difficult to us.
All right.
Mr. President, you are not doing well, I'm telling you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Obasanjo, for calling and also speaking with so much passion this morning. But again, we always encourage you to send us, eyewitness report or whatever information it is you're privy to that you think would actually help us, have a very good conversation and also chart the way forward. Please send this, messages or videos, all right, to our mailbox on Eagles FM Abuja at gmail.com. It really would help us a lot. Okay, thank you so much. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, MFA.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
My name is Abdul, calling from Suleja, Niger State.
All right, Abdul, good to have you. Please go ahead.
It's a good one for the Mr. President to reduce the convoy and the security men of the ministers. But not only them, even the governor should do the same thing. Even him himself, the president should do the same thing, so that cost of living will reduce. And I believe one thing. I used to say, when I listen to the ministers, the shovel cabinet or something, all those ones it's not our problem in Nigeria. The problem we have in Nigeria is to make the cost of fuel down, to beat it down. If the cost of fuel is down, everything in the market will be cheap. That's what we the masses will enjoy. That's what we the masses is going to affect us to know that yes, we are enjoying in Nigeria. Not all this changing of cabinet, reducing convoys or security personnel to the ministers. What will make the food cheap in the market? That's what we want. Please, I'm going to say, let the president do something. There's hunger in this country. People are suffering. There's no food to eat, no money to spend. Please, the president should do something about it. God bless Eagle FM. God bless Nigeria. Bye.
Thank you very much for calling. And of course, this is a wake-up call, if you like to call it that way, to Mr. Presidente. Yes, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that beyond reducing the cost of governance or, rejigging your cabinet and reducing the size, it is indeed important for you to do something about the price of petrol, right? Such that it will trickle down, all right, on the cost of living and also the lives of Nigerians, because indeed a lot is going on and people are not really finding it easy. All right. Hello, good morning to you. Brighto.
Good morning
to you. Good morning.
This is Bright.
Right. Yes, please go
I
ahead.
pray you have a splendid weekend.
You too.
Omefe,
Yes.
reducing convoy, is that one of the strategic improvements in the security situation? No.
Okay.
Let me tell you, how many times you are in this country, I think you are old enough, at least maybe for 15 years now, you have been old enough to know the situation of this country. Every year, every IG says we will reduce the security assigned to VIPs. After, what will happen? The situation still remains the same. Now, if you are reducing it, all those vehicles you bought on the convoy, where are those vehicles? Are you going to park them? Or you sell it off and use it to reduce the economy? Private jets in Nigeria, this thing, how many have you sold so that in the economy you will reduce it and the cost, maintenance costs and all the rest of them, use it to reduce the economy? None. Instead, you are buying more. Yash, who is staying there? Only you bought. Vehicles you bought. Oh my God. See, journalists try to go to Southeast, South, where we come from. You will see every toll, police checkpoint, the other one, road safety, the other one, soldier, as if to say we are in Gaza. Even in the north here, where you have more insecurity, there's no checkpoints like that in the north. Why is this so much that the whole security are being flooded in the south my region and southeast? Why? Are they fighting war there? What is so special about there that more than half the security of Nigeria is there and the north nowhere? The only thing you'll be hearing is every day 40, 80, 60. All of us like make the country move forward. Though. If there is peace in the country and if the economy improve and people life improve, nobody will be complaining. Even if they are packing the money as they like, we won't be disturbing them. But if you live a comfortable life, everybody will have his own business to go about.
All right.
Go. Let me not lament too much because lamentation is too much in Nigeria. Thank you.
Bragg, thank you so much for calling. All right. And one would say that it would have been okay, right, if you suggest or recommend that we have more security presence on our roads in the northern part of the country, of which one would say we have, but perhaps not enough. But not to say that or to ask why we have a handful of them on our roads, in the southern, part of the country or the southeastern part of the country. No pun intended. I'll just move on now to the WhatsApp portal to take, the messages that we have on here. Maybe I should start with the voice notes, all right? Because, well, at this juncture, you have to desist from calling the other number, which is the 097353, all right? Because I want to take the WhatsApp messages that we have on here. And like I said earlier, it's going to be a first come, first, serve situation. So the earlier you send your voice note, the better. So let's take a listen to this one.
Igos FM, good morning, Nigeria. My name is Daniel. I think it's a very good development. You see, this is what we in Nigeria will be clamoring for, course of governance. But nevertheless, I will also advise all other state governors to follow suit. Even the president should also follow suit and should cut down the cost of governance. It's a good development. This is what we have been praying for. At least let governance get to the grassroots. Let the poor people feel the impact of good governance. God bless Nigeria. God bless Igos FM. Thank you. Good morning, Igos FM. Good morning, Nigeria. My name is Daniel. I think it's a...
All right. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that voice note.
Yeah. Omefe, good morning. I celebrate Nigerians. My name is Triple D from Waru. Well, I want to really condole with the family that lost their loved ones in that chopper in Port Harcourt. We pray God grant their soul eternal rest in peace. Well, I want to comment on the issue of reducing the convoy. Omefe, that is not the problem of Nigeria. Reshufflement of cabinet, reducing the convoy, whatever, is not. You cannot reduce the convoy of the ministers and Nigerians are buying a bag of rice 100,000. You cannot reduce the convoy of the minister. Nigeria cannot afford to buy petrol in the filling station, transportation to work, feeding. Bring down the cost of oil. If you bring down the cost of fuel in this country today, Nigerians don't want to know whether you carry 1 million convoy. It's none of our business. It's none of our problem. But let the fuel come down to the level that Nigerians can be able to afford. Well, we are on the journey. We will soon get it right. But let him not. But let him remember, you have more than 50 ministers, the highest cabinet ever in the history of democracy in Nigeria. So which cost are you reducing? God bless Nigeria. Good morning.
Triple D, thank you so much for that message.
Good morning, Efe. This is Salami from Apple Legislative Quarters. Let me wish my Muslim brothers and sisters a peaceful Juma Mubarak, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers and supplications of an act of ibadah. The president, giving directive to ministers to reduce their convoy to 3 vehicles per minister. It's just laughable. Efe, it's laughable that the president now know that Nigerians are that we don't understand natural governance, and then he's not exploiting the emotion of the people. What does the number of vehicles got to do with the performance of the minister? I don't care if you're even using 200 convoy in your cars in your convoy. In as much as you're doing the right thing, you're doing your job, you're making life easier for Nigeria. You can still be riding three convoys and still be an abysmal failure in office, and still be a liability, to our country and to our common patrimony. You just be getting salary without doing anything. Reducing convoy is not the problem that we have. It's the competence of the people. I don't care whether you're driving 20 vehicles, 10, 200 vehicles. I don't honestly care. Those are just emotional aspects of governance, and it's really even sad that the president is pandering to it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that voice note, and let's take this one.
Good morning, Eagle FM. This is Anthony Witness from Suleja speaking. Quickly, it's a good thing the president has reduced the convoy of the ministers. That is a good one. But for me, I will not rejoice over it, because it can be an audio presentation, it can be a window dressing issue. The president mean well, but the execution of that particular directive is another thing. I know there are several times in this country, even right from Obasanjo time, that the police have been asked to leave roadblocks on the road. It didn't work. I know several times police have been asked to be withdrawn from individuals. It didn't work. Several times, so not just once. It never worked. So why will I begin to celebrate that it was just announced that the ministers will be escorted only by 3 police officers? Let's see, it's working now. They told the dog that there is party somewhere and he's hearing music playing. He said he will not celebrate until he sees bone. Thank you and have a good day.
Well, the messages that we have on here on the WhatsApp portal, this one here from Abbas from Dutse says, good morning, Omoefe. Please, the caller that is lamenting about his state should reach out to his lawmakers representing his constituents. These lamentations are not federal government affairs. Let him reach out to his governor in Niger State. How responsible... who is responsible for grassroots governance? That's the only way he can achieve results for it, his local government. Well, Abbas, I'll leave that to you and Obasanjo, if I'm not mistaken, because I guess he's the one you're referring to. And then this one here says, good morning, Lady Omoefe. There is nothing to cheer about in the recently announced reduction in ministers' convoy by the president. Was the earlier directive by the president adhered to? The new directive is just to hoodwink the public to believe that there is palpable reduction in governance, which is not the case. We have heard this before, but the situation remains the same. In addition, the Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives should also be directed to cut down on their overbloated convoys that run into hundreds of exotic automobiles at a time. Further, state governors should be advised to join in cutting down on their long convoys, which are usually accompanied by hair-raising sirens, right? This will save the masses from jumping off the roads whenever the emperors are on transit. May God Almighty save us from ourselves. Amen. Comrade Ulo Basi from Buhari, Abuja. Are there really emperors now? This one here says the U.S. All right, good morning, Efe, for sure. This is James from Suleja. Thank you. Well, I'm sure the presidency will be looking towards acquiring another aircraft with the report of damage to the VP's aircraft. We know these gimmicks all too well. Yet, just yesterday, one of our resident government fanboys was busy trying to explain how removal did not amount to sack. And just today, the presidency have confirmed that the ministers were actually fired. The problem with defending issues blindly is that you end up looking like a clown. Bayo Onanuga claims the ministers were fired based on the assessment of Nigerians. I'm sure all Nigerians called for the removal of the petroleum minister, minister of economy, and even minister of power. Going ahead, it's always easy for us to come up with laws and regulations, but implementation begins to seem like an uphill task. Even with all the Servicom desk in our various airports, have we not all always had embarrassing cases of delayed flights on ending. Nigerians will not brace themselves for anything with regards to the old naira notes. The government will always deny and counter-deny, even when the realities are all too glaring. The U.S. elections is on November 5, but voting has been ongoing. Joining the BRICS as a partner nation is laughable, considering it is supposed to be an alternative to Western dominance through groups like World Bank and even the United Nations. The same World Bank we have borrowed and implementing their policy recommendations. Those who know that now alone we find go there, no more, no less. All right, and this one here says, good morning, Eagles FM. President reduces the convoy of ministers. Is good to go. This is to show that they are listening to us, but let it start from Mr. President himself, governors, National Assembly members. There is too much waste in Nigerian governance. All right, Okudiri Okonkwo from the city of Suleja. Well, I think I'll just leave it there this morning because of time. Thank you all so much for keeping us company on the pages this morning. To those who called in, to those who sent voice notes, to those who actually sent messages, thank you sincerely. And again, the takeaway would be the fact that Nigerians are somewhat not too excited about some of these policies in terms of reducing the cost of governance. What really want, if not most of them, right, would be the fact that there should be a drastic or aggressive decrease, right, in the price of of fuel, right? Just the way there's been this aggressive hike in the price of petrol, there should be an aggressive, a decrease in the price, right, of petrol in Nigeria, because that would also, rub off on every other aspect, of our lives as Nigerians. And well, time of course will tell. Our fingers are crossed. Hopes are high to see what would, of course, happen in the days to come, especially with the new. Well, this seems to be like how will I put it now? The energy from the president seems to be on another level. I mean, taking a look at what has happened in the last, 48 hours, but time, of course, will tell whether or not this will stand the test of time. Thank you all so much for sharing your thoughts with us. And of course, I'd like to state that the views expressed by the contributors on the pages this morning were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3. Your radio experience you can count on. Vicky Vic is somewhere around the premises and is all geared up to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. I'll be back at 9 a.m. this morning, and do not forget the focus will be on the scrapping of Niger Delta Ministry as to whether or not it is justified. We'd like you, of course, to share your thought with us at that time as well. Good morning to you.